Hi, I'm Jerry Drager, Drager's International Classic Sales in Seattle, Washington. We're here at Drager's Clubhouse to show you a car that we don't normally get. I mean, we do Fords and Chevys and old flatheads and things like that, but I very seldom ever get into a foreign car. I went to the man's place to look at the Mustang convertible, and I ended up buying the Mustang and a Corvette and this Porsche from him. Now, he owned this car. He bought it down in California, and then he moved up here to the Seattle area, and this is where I bought it. This car has lived in the Palmdale area for most of its life. I have a registration that goes all the way back to 1977 from Lancaster, which is right next door to Palmdale. So it's been in the high desert country almost its whole life. And it is, I think, a lot of its original paint. We've looked this car over, and I know it's been touched up in places. We actually touched up on this side over here a little bit. But I got to tell you, this is an incredible car. It's like a Survivor car, but it has the engine cases don't match on it. So for you purists, that's not going to work. But the engine's been rebuilt. The Maestro's little spec book. I was told this gentleman here is the one that rebuilt the engine in it. I don't know that for absolute sure. I know it runs and drives great. The thing feels good when you drive it. It's fun to drive down the road, whether it's straight or on a crooked road. It just handles really, really well. I'm not going to tell you it's a show car, even though it looks good. You're going to see flaws in the paint and everything, but boy, they don't stand out very much. I mean, this car is an incredible car. You're going to get thumbs up wherever you are. I want to tell you, we have looked this car over. I had my painter look it over. This car is beautiful. We can see that in the roof here, it's getting a little thin in the paint. We think it's probably original paint. We did some touch-up on this side. There were some spots on both sides of the door in the front and rear. We're not sure what it was, but I had this repainted along here. It just needed it. It's beautiful now. I mean, it just was the worst thing on here, and it didn't show up very well. I mean, you might have seen photos of this car, and you couldn't tell that it had a problem. I mean, this thing it's really, really nice. Now, I walk across the front here, and this is where I can see that it's old, because there's pitting along here from, you know, rock chips and that sort of stuff. And some of it's brush touched in. There's a little spot right there. I mean, it's just minor. You don't even notice it unless you're looking at it, but you can see all the rock chips in there. Now that means to me, this is old paint. I mean, I can see them all along through here. So I think that it probably is original paint that's been touched up in places. I see a long scratch mark right there. So it's not perfect, but it's very, very nice. This side we haven't done anything to. This is just the way it came in. And you can see there's some dents in the hubcap. On the other side, there's some dents in the hubcap there. There's a little spot that's been brush touched. I saw another spot here. There's a little chip in the paint. There's another little spot. There's another spot. You know, I mean, there's some spots in it. This has got a crack in the windshield right there. It just goes to here, but it's there, just so you know. There's a little spot right there. I mean, this thing looks great. There's a little scratch mark right there. Another little spot, a couple of spots. I mean, for the most part, I don't think you're going to find much in here anywhere. This hubcap's better than the front one. So, I mean, it may not be a show car, but it sure looks great. Again here, of course, we got this rack. I know nothing about Porsche particularly, so I don't know what these badges mean or anything else, but they're on there, and the luggage rack is on there, and it looks good. It goes with the car. We have the original bumpers with the hole in it for the exhaust. We have the original exhaust system, so you get that with this car. So it's got the whole exhaust system. I mean, this car is really nice across here. Just everything looks great. Just looks really, really nice. Now, to open the hood on this thing, I call it the hood, and it's back here. There's a little lever right here on the side. You just pull that out, and then you can just lift this up. And you lift it all the way up and drop it back down, and it latches right there. And you can just lift it up again and drop her down. Now, this engine compartment, as you can see in the engine, is very, very clean. the cases do not match, so for your purest, this is not going to work for you. It also has Weber carbs on it. The engine has been completely rebuilt. I don't know how many miles ago, but you can see how clean and nice it is. And it's got 1,700 heads on it now, and it just runs great. To open up the hood, you got to reach in here underneath the dash, and there's a little lever there to pull out. So you can open the hood. And you got a little safety lever right there you got to lift up. And this works the same as front and back. You just lift it up and it latches in place. And you can see it's clean in here. We've got the spare tire here with a leather belt. I'm sure that's a different leather belt than the original. I think this probably lifts out so we can see what's underneath here. And you can see there's the original gas tank. As you can see, this is all the original in here, original matting and stuff, and there's your plate right here, the numbers on it, jack. Here's the rest of the jack information. Here's the piece to slide in to put your jack underneath and lift it up. And you can see the bottom of this is good. This piece here has been replaced. Battery acid, I'm sure that's why it's been replaced, because again, we couldn't find any rust on this car anywhere. I think you'll be very happy with the condition of this car. The underside is really clean. You can see just the way it came in. And of course, you saw all this was really clean, and you saw the original matting in there, which wasn't beautiful, but it's original. So this car has really had a good life. And then just lift this hood up and bring it down, and whoops, there we go. Now it's shut. I just reach underneath the dash here in the corner, and there's a lever to open the gas cap. You can see right there the cap and everything. Just push her back down. Now when I bought this car, it had high back seats in here, and they were kind of ugly. But he also had the original seats with it, and so I had these seats, the bases all rebuilt and everything, and then reupholstered, so the seats are all like new on here. And then the steering wheel, it had a different steering wheel on it, and this is the original steering wheel that came with the car. So it all looks real good. And of course you can see all the gauges crossed here. The radio does not work. The clock does not work. The heater control is right here, and it works good. I was using it. We do not have a key for this to lock the shifter. I sure wouldn't want to ride in here. Little jump seats. But they're there. They're good. I don't think anything's happened to them. You can just see that's all original. Nothing's been messed with on here at all. It all just looks good and original. I'm not sure what this is. I'm not a Porsche guy, but it looks like maybe a vent. There's one on each side, and there's supposed to be a chrome piece we've been told is supposed to go on there. You can see the headliner in here is in real good shape, but you can also see that it's got some spots in it, and it's the original headliner. Windows roll up, down good. And we have the vent windows right here. It's got a little button on there to lock. You can open them up and close them down. These back windows, they got an over-center lever here, so they open up and close, and you can latch them down a little bit and just swing back. You can see we have the defrost lever here, and of course you got a light underneath here. This is interesting on this light. You can shut it off, or like right now I got the door open, so it's on, but when I shut the door this way, it's off, and it's off that way. We have lights on both sides back here, and they work just fine. So that turns it on. This is for the door, and that's totally off. So you can see right now I open the door and it doesn't work, but when I put it in the center here, it's on, and when I shut the door, it's off. So they work the same on both sides. Wipers are right here. Actually, they'll work without being on. Your headlight switch is right here. And your horn, of course, is right there. We got turn signals that work just fine. Joe at Old School Garage did the service and safety check on here. The radio does not play, and again, like I told you earlier, the clock does not work. Now you got an ashtray right here, and you can see it just doesn't work very good. I don't think it's been used very much in this car at all. And the cigarette lighter, it didn't work. I tried it already. Let's look in the glove box. We got a polishing cloth, a handbook. It's kind of falling apart a bit, but it's here. We have fuses. We have a tire gauge, but also we have the key for the down here on this lock. So I lied earlier, but we got it all. That's good. Here's your VIN number right here, and you look at this thing. I don't see any taping on here anywhere at all. I mean, none of this stuff. And look at here, there's a little bit of a screw head right here, or rivet. None of that's been taped. There's a little crack in the paint. I say this is original paint's never been messed with. That's what I think. Well, of course, these Porsche, they're got these 4-cylinder air-cooled engines sitting here in the back. You can see this custom exhaust on here. It comes out the side. And again, I mentioned we do have the original exhaust for it. Everything looks good underneath here. I mean, it's clean. You can see it's been driven. It is not totally clean. I see numbers on here. I'm not sure what those numbers are. I'm not a Porsche person. I like the way the wheels slope in when you put it up on the hoist, and they slope in. And you got 4-wheel disc brakes on this car, so I mean, this car really runs and drives and handles nice. I've been driving it today, and I've been having a great time driving it. But you can see the floor pans are all real good. We've looked this car over. I've looked everywhere. I've not found any rust on it. Yeah, I see stuff like this where it's the undercoating is breaking away and stuff, but I mean, there's no rust in here anywhere. Floor pans are good and solid. Again, the floor pans, everything looks real good on them. It is solid. It's dirty. It's not a show car. This is more like a survivor car. It's not totally original, but it's pretty damn close. Now, I told you earlier that the battery box had been replaced, and that's what this piece is. Your battery sits right here, and you get battery acid in there. So that's the only place I've seen bad on here. I can see, and I did it this morning. Right here, the chrome's rubbed off on this bumper guard here. I did some this morning. Anyway, it's just a nice car under here. It looks good. It's been well maintained. Joe at Old School Garage told me how to start this car. Now it's 6 volts, so you know they don't turn over real fast. That's one thing nice about 12 volt. They swing over. Anyway, to start it, when you see how it does that? But if you step on the gas and open the gas up, it'll start spinning over fast and starts. Works great. Well, I hope this looks good to you. I sure like driving it. There we go, up onto I-5 northbound, so you can get to see how this thing looks going down the freeway. A lot of traffic out here today, but we'll let you get a good look at this thing anyway. I think the big truck behind wanted to run over us, but that's okay. Sure, looking great. It's a neat car. I got to tell you, if you're a purist, you may not want it, but if you want a really nice rust-free Porsche, I don't know where you're going to find a 356 like this. Chance to see this, the Porsche on this side. Looks good on both sides, doesn't it? I like these great country roads you get out on, and this thing really is fun for that. Can you see yourself bending corners in this beautiful little car? It'd be fun, wouldn't it? Well, we're back to Drager's Clubhouse, and I hope you enjoyed the drive in this 356. I want to tell you, I hope we explained everything and you saw everything well. And if you got any questions at all, make sure you give us a call at 206-533-9600.
On behalf of my father, Jerry, and myself, I hope you enjoyed the video that we put together and got a better feel for what the overall condition of the vehicle is.
Thanks, Andrew and Woody. Anyway, we would like to invite you to come see us at Drager's Clubhouse. If you're ever in Seattle, you should give us a call and come out and see Drager's Clubhouse firsthand. It's a fun place. We got a lot of interesting things. And if you have any questions about the vehicle you just watched, give us a call at 206-533-9600. Thanks again.